Next on Married People's Business.
Prenuptial agreements. I do or I don't.
This show will delve into prenup agreements and whether you should sign them before marriage or not.
Stay tuned.
That's that sound.
Yes, it is.
You know what that means? That we're back with Married People's Business. I'm one of your hosts, Michael Tolbert. I'm here with my beautiful co-host.
Hi, I'm Shalise Tolbert, and thank you so very much.
Oh, and she is looking so lovely today in the crimson in vogue special dress that she know that I like. You know, the noobs out there. You know, the noobs out there loving it with the crimson.
This is, one of my sorority colors as well.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. But we're here to talk about the things that impact married people always. This show, if you're just tuning in, we talk about collaborators. We talk about people that are in business together that are particularly married. But you don't have to be married to enjoy this show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could just be somebody that just wants to start something special with somebody, like a business, or just come together and collaborate. And we talk about a lot of different issues that impact people.
Right.
And what's the topic today?
Well, today's topic is prenup. I do or I don't.
Prenup. That's the title of the show. Prenup. I do or I don't. And you know what? We came up with this topic because for the people out there that are listening, we're lawyers by trade. We do this show because we love talking about things that impact married people in business. But by trade, we are counselors at law. We have Tolbert and Tolbert law firms, so we get a lot of questions.
Yes.
And one of those questions is about, women coming in, they trying to figure out a way to take these brothers to the cleaners.
Oh my goodness.
And they come in with all kind of pieces of paper, like, should I sign this prenup agreement that's saying that I can't take all of this hard-earned brother's wealth, everything that he scraped his fingernails and his knuckles for.
And it has to be the women that are doing that, right?
Well,
okay.
not always.
Because women, we got some coins in our purses too.
Yeah, y'all got a little bit of change. But, as lawyers, we get approached about this prenup question all the time.
Yeah.
And we thought it would be a good show to really go through the perils, the do's and the don'ts. And, when should you sign a prenuptial agreement, or when should you sign one? So that's the title of the show, Prenups, I Do or I Don't. And we're going to delve right into the topic. And I could just tell you from my personal experience, for y'all brothers that are listening, Shalise, I made Shalise sign a dang on prenup.
Today? Because I didn't sign one when we got married, so did I sign it today?
Listen, let me tell you.
No.
I had a whole bunch of stuff to protect.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
I had 2 Sega Genesis cartridges.
I had
an Atari 2600. And I had an old pair of buddies. So all the old school players out there know what buddies are.
Feel fine. They cost $1.99.
And I had this vintage Jane Kennedy poster.
How old are you?
I'm 47, baby.
So you said Jane Kennedy. I thought you were going to go with Janet.
Jane Kennedy was the old. She's the OG.
She is the OG. But you were like 2 when she was doing posters.
I had an OG Jane Kennedy poster that, what? Shalise ain't going to take my Jane Kennedy poster. Okay? She's just not. So, let me tell y'all a quick story. So we get to the wedding. And I tell Shalise, I say, I got these 2 Sega Genesis cartridges. I got this Jane Kennedy poster. And I got an Atari 2600. So we need to sign this agreement because if you divorce me, you're not going to take all of this wealth. You're not going to take it.
So you got a Sega Genesis cartridge and an Atari 2600. So none of that match. So you can't play no games.
That's why it's so valuable.
No.
That's why it was
so
so
the real
valuable.
story is that we did not have a prenup. And, honestly, it wasn't a discussion. And we were lawyers at the time that we got married.
Yeah, we were. But,
and,
yeah.
This isn't just, and I don't want people to get confused that this is going to be just a legal aspect of the prenup. We're talking about the practicality and real life, how it works. So that's why I emphasize that we were already practicing when we got married. So, and it wasn't a discussion between us.
Yeah, that's true. It wasn't a discussion. And I think that is really one of the more complex issues that surround this prenup question is, you got two lawyers. Most people would think that we would have a prenup, but I think that the prenuptial agreement is dictated based on your circumstances. I truly believe that. So depending on who you are and when you meet people will dictate when or if you get a prenup. So one of the stories that really struck me that was another reason why we wanted to talk about this was really two people. It was Jeff Bezos.
Right, that's the founder of Amazon.
Founder of Amazon. And then there was my man, the truth, Steven Jackson.
Now, Steven Jackson is a basketball player?
He is a former NBA basketball player and a former, I think he's an NBA analyst now.
Okay.
And Steven...
Who did he play for?
He's played for a few teams. He played for the San Antonio Spurs. He played for the Indianapolis Pacers. He was actually part of the melee with Ron Artest with the Pacers and the Pistons. So he's part of the melee in the Palace.
Gotcha.
And for those of you who know Steven Jackson, he is just the truest. He is as true as they come. And I was like searching YouTube and I saw this video of him where he was talking about how he called his wedding off on the day of the wedding, not a week before, not a month before.
That's crazy.
But on the day of the wedding because his fiancée at the time would not sign a prenup.
So is this the guy, I think you were telling me about this and you showed me this a while back, but this happened a couple of years ago with him, right?
It sure did. Sure did.
Didn't they have kids together or
They had a kid. They had a kid together.
Okay.
Yes.
So this wasn't just somebody that he was not, connected to like, hey, I just met her or, we're getting married. They've got a child and they're creating a union and a family.
That is true. And for the listeners and the viewers, some of you might, I don't want to assume anything when we do these shows, but a prenup agreement is simply a legal document that dictates if married couples separate, what they take or what they don't take out of the relationship. So going into the marriage, you can really predetermine what would happen if you separate. And in the business context, we call those partnership agreements, we call those operating agreements, and it works the same way in marriage. So you can say, hey, if this relationship doesn't work, if this marriage doesn't work, you take what you brought and I take what I brought. Or you could say you only get 10%, or you could say you don't get anything.
Right. So you're really able to control the finality or dissolution of the relationship, whether it's a marriage, whether it's your business partner, where you put that in your partnership agreement.
That's exactly right. So the controversy a lot of times is that when you have business, it's a very sterile engagement. So usually most of the time when you have a business, very rarely do you have married couples that are in business. You usually have somebody that you're not necessarily connected to. So it's real easy to draw a defined line and say, all right, this is what you get if the business dissolves,
right,
or this is what you don't get if the business dissolves. But when you throw in emotion and marriage and you start talking friendships and you start talking about, well, we're getting a divorce. Most of the time when people get divorces, they're not nice. So there's a lot of emotion that goes into the prenuptial agreement discussion and whether or not you should get it.
Right.
So that is the backstory. Going back to my man, Steven Jackson, he basically proposed to a young lady. The young lady planned this huge wedding. They had all these NBA players there. I think he had Bobby Valentino singing. I mean, it was a classic NBA wedding. And he asked this young lady to sign this prenup agreement a year before they got married. She stalled him all the way into the wedding day and then decided not to sign the prenup agreement. And the prenup agreement basically protected all of his NBA earnings. So if they got a divorce, she would not get a dime. And she said, I'm not signing it.
And this is up until the day of the wedding.
They are in full garb. They are in tuxedo. She's in her wedding dress. All the guests are there.
Ooh-wee.
The chicken is hot. all the good stuff that you get when you get wedded, and the people in the reception, and you got all the what do you got? The bridesmaids, they got they back out.
Not the back out.
Yeah, you know y'all got y'all. Yeah, they got they back
out in the last wedding.
Yeah, you know that's how we do it. You know, no black wedding is complete unless you have at least 3 or 4 backs out.
Well, shout out to Shikante for having my back out. Sonny and Shikante.
Yeah, you know, yeah. So you had a whole group of bridesmaids with their backs out, with their hair done, with their eyelashes.
Did you just put your hand up for the eyelashes?
They eyelashes on fleek. Is that what they say now?
10 years ago they said on
fleek. Yeah. You know, I'm cool, so I'm using throwback terminology. Right, so whatever the kids use, lit, fleek, whatever they say. Yeah. But they had them. All right, so
the guys are in their tuxedos. They're looking fly. They got the goatees and the beards all trimmed and nice, up. Dyed up the gray hairs and the black.
They had the Ron Isley. They had
the grays showing. I thought back then they might have dyed to be jet black with the Beijing going.
Just for men, baby. You know, just for men.
Not the just for men with Gerald Levert on the box.
Yeah. So everybody's
dressed.
Everybody's dressed up, and everybody's dressed up. They're at the venue. And he calls the wedding off. And I think he said he spent almost $100,000 to $200,000 on his wedding. Woo. Don't quote me on that, but I know it wasn't like our wedding. You know, we was on the budget. We was balling on the budget when we got married.
I'm fine with that, but that's a house.
Yeah, we did not spend $100,000-$200,000 on our wedding. No. We was balling on the budget, but you know these NBA players, you know these guys are getting these max deals. They getting $200-$300-$400 million, and so you know $100,000 wedding is a drop in the bucket. So still, that's a lot of money. But he called his whole wedding off. Her family's there, her friends are there, the pastor's there. He calls it completely off.
So he gets to the venue and does not have this signed prenup and says
that's right. He calls it off because she would not sign the prenup as she had promised to do a year before when he proposed to her.
Okay.
And part of the reason why she didn't sign the prenup is because she said, hey, and fellas, you're going to hear this a lot, you know, if you really love me, if you really, truly, truly love me, you would not make me sign this document because we're going to be together forever, right? We're going to be together forever. And so this is really casting negative, spooky vibes going into the marriage because you're already thinking negative about this situation.
Well, you know, honestly, and I may be in the minority of women that think this way, but, you know, yeah, there's love in a marriage, but a marriage is also a business.
Yeah, that's true. It is a business.
It is a business in the sense of two people coming together, bringing assets together or debt together or whatever the case may be, and they have to manage their lives together.
And that brings us to Mr. Bezos, and we're going to weave both of these stories together. We're talking about marriage being a business now. Jeff Bezos just makes my head hurt. Though.
This one right here.
So Jeff Bezos, he gets his woman. They get married.
But they were married 25 years.
25 years. It doesn't sound like he had a prenup because his wife, upon their divorce, got $38 billion with the B.
As in
billion.
Billion
dollars. $38 billion. And some estimate the amount of money that she got, the total package and the total value of their divorce was $150 billion.
Yes.
Instantly making her the richest woman in the world. 150. We're going to say 50. When you make that much, we're going to say 50.
150 billion.
$150 billion. So that, to Shay's point, to Shalisa's point, marriage in that context is very much so a business because there's a lot to lose.
Yes.
And there's a lot to gain if the marriage doesn't work out.
And I emphasized that they were together for 25 years because Amazon has not been what it is for 25 years. And so that 38 billion that we talked about in the very beginning was her portion worth of Amazon stock. And I think that was only like 4%.
Well, no, and I think she got 4% in the divorce decree. She got 4% of Amazon stock as part of the divorce.
Right, and that equaled out to $38.3 billion.
Right. So, on top of all the other gratuities and benefits that she got, the value was $150 billion.
Right, the total value was $150 billion, but just the Amazon stock alone, at 4% of the Amazon stock was $38 billion.
All right, good people. So now we got two stories. We got the Steven Jackson story, and we got the Mr. Bezos, Jeff Bezos story. Amazon, the hoops, NBA to Amazon Prime, deliver your package one day, within a day. Those are the two stories. And I like those two stories because it really raises a lot of different issues, and it really goes to the heart of really what we're talking about today. Mm-hmm. And that's prenup. Like, when should you sign one? When should you sign one? And the beautiful thing about these podcasts, contrary to popular belief, Shalise and I, we don't really talk a lot about these podcasts before we go, because we want it to be raw, and I don't want to taint what her view is. So a lot of times I'm hearing her view for the first time on these podcasts. Even though we've been knowing each other for a long time, there's still stuff that I'm learning about her every day, especially since we're doing these podcasts.
Absolutely.
So, I don't really know where she comes down on the prenup front. This is going to be my first time hearing this.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Depending on what she says, she might sign one today.
We have been married for almost 16 years.
You can go back to
Prenups mean before the nuptial.
We can do it retro. We can do it retroactive.
No, we cannot do retroactive.
We can do it retro.
No,
we can backdate it. You know how when your
we
uncle,
will not backdate, post date.
You know how your uncle used to give you the check? I used to have his uncle used to be like,
he backdated.
Here go a check, but don't cash it until next week or post date. Yeah, you know what I mean.
No,
you know what I mean.
Unfortunately, in my former life.
Don't sign it until the money gonna be there.
My check don't get deposited to the 19th, so I'm gonna date this for the 20th. So don't go to the bank today.
All right.
But I'm kind of torn. I see the business perspective of it, but I think something you said early on, it's a circumstantial discussion to have. The circumstances differ for each couple.
Okay.
I think, in the case here with Bezos and his wife, they had been married for 25 years. I don't know his full history of what was going on, but she sounds like being there for 25 years, she may have been a part of helping him build that billion-dollar industry of Amazon, or not directly building it, but at the same time supporting him, supporting the family and whatnot. So I somewhat understand that settlement. But if she came in and he was, Amazon he is today, and they get married, they're planning to get married next year, that's a prenup. Because there's a lot in assets that he has beforehand that, in my opinion, she had nothing to do with. And to me, honestly, again, I may be in the minority of women that feel this way, but love does not mean that you're entitled to everything that somebody worked for before they knew you. Now, when somebody chooses to share their life with you, they share everything with you, but they can also be smart and wise in preparing a prenuptial agreement, again, under whatever the circumstances may be for that individual couple. When you start out together with things, because people, again, are probably surprised, here we are practicing lawyers, and we plan our wedding, and we don't have prenups. I never felt in any way that our relationship was built on anything material, and that I always thought we were working towards things, even before we had our own firm together, that we were working towards building something together. So I don't think we even ever talked about a prenup, or the word even came up seriously. As much as we joked, I don't think we ever talked about it.
Because I was broke as hell. That's why we didn't talk. Because I was broke as hell.
So,
that's why I didn't talk about it. What you gonna get?
This takes me back to our last podcast on the indecent proposal. So if there had been 7 figures involved, it would have been a different story.
I was like, man.
No, but
I
seriously.
think I had like what I have in the bank. I had a couple of I had some student loans.
Well, we both had student loans.
I was in the red.
We were what when you proposed, we were 5 years into the practice. And we had been in
so I wasn't completely broke.
No, we had been in a relationship for 2.5 years when you proposed, exclusively. And then we had both been practicing. By the time we got married, we had been practicing for 6 years.
Right. So I wasn't completely broke in the sense of brokeism.
I'm sure you had some savings.
I had some savings. I had some investments. I had a lot going on, but I'm gonna tell you this is my mindset, and this goes to the point of the do or you don't, and this is where I come down on it. I think Shalise, my situation was unique because I had been knowing Shalise for so long. So I didn't feel that it was necessary to sign a prenup because I had been knowing her since like the 7th grade. So I felt like if something did happen, then, I don't necessarily think she would have been a huge contributing factor to whatever success that I would have as a man and as a practitioner, as a lawyer, as a business person. So I've been knowing her for so long, so my thought was we built this together all the way back to like Tolliston Middle School. So I didn't necessarily think a prenuptial agreement would help. But if I would have met somebody if it would have been somebody other than you, they would sign a prenup agreement because, they were not there, when I had the hot top fade with the Big Daddy Kane steps in them. You know what I mean? They weren't there when, we was going to Marie's, right around the corner from Tolliston. They weren't there when you like kissed me in the rain when I had never kissed a girl before and you was fast.
No, you had kissed girls before. It wasn't
that was my first time. This girl, boy.
Why are you telling these people these fibs? Untrue.
So
this is fake news.
Yeah, so to me that our situation is unique.
Yeah. And
Jeff Bezos' situation, I don't know when they met. So you just assume. See, that's the thing about prenups. We assume that when you have successful businessmen and they have wives, we automatically presume that they are contributing like heavily to the success of whatever that endeavor that businessman is embarking on. She could be a kept woman.
But here's the thing. They had been married for 25 years. And they had kids. So when I say contributing, I said, not necessarily directly. So if she may have been taking care of the family while he's doing this or that, he wasn't always this Jeff Bezos during that 25 years. Or maybe I don't know his history. Well,
of course he has accumulated enough wealth. Like I saw a statistic that he's actually made out of the $38 billion or $150 billion total divorce settlement value that he had to pay her, he's made half of that back in a year.
Yeah, because they got divorced in like 2019.
Yeah, so Bezos is a G. He's gonna always have that paper.
I mean, with the times of Amazon as it is now.
Yeah, so he's always growing. But my point is that I think we're presuming that, when she was with him or when she met him, how do we not know that he was already wealthy and had enough money to take, like all the things that we value. I think we look at wealthy people on the same standard as maybe folks that don't necessarily have that sort of money. And we're thinking that Jeff Bezos' wife is like mopping floors and taking care of the kids.
No.
And she probably might not be doing that stuff.
No, I don't think that. But I think that there was, again, not knowing his full history, but looking at the length of time that they were married, I don't think 25 years is just a total kept woman.
Okay.
I think that, and I don't know that, again, looking at where Amazon is today versus 25 years ago, we were in law school 25 years ago.
That's true.
So I didn't know what an Amazon was. There was barely internet.
So I would say this. I think that you should I think men should get a prenup, or women should get a prenup, depending on how the economic pendulum swings. Because there's always going to be somebody that's making more than the other person.
Or inheritance.
Or inheritance, that's right. I think you should have a prenup, personally. If you are meeting somebody that you did not know for a long period of time, like if these are not childhood friends, or this is not somebody that has been there with you every step of the way, I think you should get a prenup. And that's just me. And I think that you protect yourself, you protect your assets, you protect, like, you don't want the dude coming in like wearing your Bears jersey after y'all get a divorce. Because women, y'all do some, ooh, Lord.
Whatever.
Y'all do some stuff, man. Y'all had brothers driving our cars and
whatever.
in our house, and like the slippers I like. Now he wearing my slippers.
First of all, you walk around barefoot, so ain't nobody wearing no slippers.
Yeah. So,
second of all, ain't nobody getting divorced.
Okay. That's
we
good.
Is together. I'm sorry.
That's what's up, and that was the other reason why we didn't. I believe in doing things one time. I said there were two things that I said I was going to do one time. One was pass the bar exam. I said I'm not taking the bar exam more than once. And the second thing was I wasn't going to get married more than once. So that's just the way it was for me. So I said the prenup really was a nullity for me. But that's me. But for other people that are not that strict, I don't have a problem with prenups. And I think you should have a very good conversation about them, especially when you're getting married later in life.
I mean, yeah, and that's why I say I think it's a circumstantial thing for each individual couple, So, I mean, definitely from the business aspect, when you have business partners, and we're not talking about a marriage here, your business partnership agreement should have something in there that discusses these similar things that a prenup would discuss. Everybody comes in with whatever they have, whatever percentage you contribute, that's what you leave with, that type of deal for a business agreement, a partnership agreement. With marriage, it does get tricky. It does, involve emotions. And it's circumstantial. You've known me all this time. What if it was, your college sweetheart that you were with for however many years, 7, 8 years, and then y'all get married? Is that not enough time? I mean, what if it's, somebody that you just really fell hard for? And I'm not saying you specifically, but, it just depends, I think, on the situation and how that person treats you as well.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because for me, I think the calculus turns on what have you grown with that person together. That's my calculus. I'm not saying that is the listener's calculus or the viewer's calculus, because everyone has their different analysis. But for me, it's about, because the whole concept of a prenup is protecting something that you have built or grown that the other person has not assisted you with or helped you grow. So you only know the answer to that question. You know whether or not the chick is trying to come in and just kind of ride the coattails, or if this is a situation where, like, man, she gave you that idea, or she said, hey, you know what, man, like, what'd be cool, Jeff, is like you could run all these bookstores out of business by creating an online network, or you could have one-day delivery. He says, you know what, that's cool, I should try that. If she came up with the idea, then she's entitled to that $38 billion, or if she helped further that idea, she's entitled to that $38 billion. But I'm not willing to just say she's entitled to $38 billion because she was there for 25 years.
But the other thing is, that's not, the settlement total wasn't even half of his worth. That was just a portion. So
you acting like a woman.
That wasn't even half. Well, let's flip it. I'm acting like a woman because I am one.
I know you are.
How about,
that ain't that much money.
No, I didn't say it wasn't that much. I was saying that wasn't even half, because you always hear people talk about they get half. She didn't even get half.
But that wasn't that the implication though?
No. The implication was that she didn't get half like you normally hear people talk about.
Right.
So you always hear people saying they going for half of your assets, with the old joke Eddie Murphy had with Johnny Carson. He got half of $20 million.
Right.
But here's the other one that I totally forgot about. Mary J. Blige. She didn't have a prenup. Dude is took her through the ringer. And she made another angry album and was talking about now the rent money due. she paying him every month, and she had to basically become homeless. And this dude jet setting with the other woman.
But
off her dime.
But
and he didn't build her up.
He deserved all that money.
No, he didn't. He didn't build her up.
He wrote. I heard he wrote all them songs.
He didn't write the songs. He didn't have publishing credits. He was her manager from the time that they met.
I was your lover and your secretary.
So you're singing the song that works for us.
Working every day of the week.
You're singing the song that works for the women. That was written by an Indianapolis person.
Oh,
Babyface.
Yeah, that brother, man. See, y'all hard on him. See,
no, but he wasn't there to build her up from when she started. We all came to know Mary J. Blige in 1991, 92. He came along in the early 2000s, managed her, and then they got married, and then he started cheating on her. They got divorced, and then he got like more than half of her stuff.
But see, that's the problem I have.
So
that's a woman's view. Because see, listen, no, I'm serious. See, this
of course, it's a woman's view.
But this is the problem I have. You hear about all these stories of brothers getting they whole wealth just completely taken and shaken. But when you hear one brother like the Mary J. Blige situation, then he's doing all this bad stuff, or it's a presumption that he didn't contribute to her career.
Well,
She came off of abusive relationship, a few abusive relationships.
Never a marriage.
But how do we know what he worked? He might have helped her through some sins and some ills when she was coming off of those relationships. He managed her.
And that's and you're making my point for Bezos' wife.
No, but we're not talking about Bezos' wife right now. We're talking about Mary J. Blige.
But it's the same thing to me.
Yeah. Exactly. You making my point is the inequity, though.
No, for the point that you're making to me is saying that we don't know what's done behind the scenes, and you automatically assume that she may have been kept and didn't do anything for the 25 years. Right. But then you're saying I'm saying the same assumption about Mary J. Blige's ex-husband, that he didn't contribute to her career to get her where she was.
So, but my point is that you're able to in a crystal clear fashion say, well, Jeff Bezos' wife is entitled to what she got. But then when you flip that, wait a minute. But when you flip that and you talk about Mary J. Blige, the presumption is that he cheated on her. He did all of these different things, so he's not entitled to anything. When in reality, what we do know is that Mary came off of bad, very, abusive relationships. So we don't know what hand he had in contributing to her, building her back up and her self-esteem, and he managed her. But the presumption is that he's not entitled to anything, right?
No, my presumption was not that he wasn't entitled to anything, because we do know he cheated, because she found out he cheated and she broadcast it.
All right.
And that he was spending money and supposed to be somewhere when he wasn't. My presumption about Bezos' wife was not that she was entitled to whatever she got. My thing was about contributing in other ways.
Right. Yeah.
So with the length of time that they were together, I'm making an assumption that there was some kind of contribution after 25 years of marriage. So I'm not saying she was mopping floors and working jobs and doing this, but I'm saying there's some contribution. So she don't need to walk away with zero. And Mary J. Blige's ex-husband, if he wrote a song or whatever he got credit for, if he got paid being her manager during the time that he was her manager, then that's what he was entitled to.
So is he entitled to half of her stuff or not?
I don't know if he's entitled to half.
Or what he got.
I don't necessarily know that he was entitled to what he got from her perspective as she explained it. Never heard anything from him. So I'll say that. What we heard from her was that basically he bankrupted her.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. So just say hypothetically. So hypothetically, all right, we not together. Just something happened to us, all right? And then you remarried.
Oh, it's me remarrying.
Because I'm it ain't gonna
be because you're the angel.
Fault.
You're the angel all up in this.
It would be my fault.
So you'll never be with another woman if I left your life.
No. What I would do is I would buy 3 cats and a dog, and those would be my companions for the rest of my life.
Can y'all see my face?
And that's what I would do. Yeah, I'm done. I'm out the game. I'm checked out. I would be
all
done.
All the indecent proposals that came up.
I'd be done.
And you getting 3 cats and a dog.
But we already know, obviously, where your stance is. So you end up with somebody. How long would it take? 6 months, a year?
6 days. You know so much.
That's all right, and that's exactly why brothers get prenups. You see how she
but
do
you got
6
one.
days?
You got one?
I do have one. Now that you think about it, look,
yeah,
this is, and you know what? Prenups don't have to be that complicated either, guys. It could just, this is all it has to say. It just needs to say that. That's all.
What does that say?
You signed it. You should know what it says.
Nothing. It say not my stuff.
That's all right. I got a duplicate one.
No signatures here.
I got a copy, so we good. I got a copy. But, see, you don't want to answer this hypothetical. That's why you ripping up my prenup. Go ahead with
that hypothetical. I don't have a problem with answering your hypothetical.
So you end up with somebody else. All right.
They signing a prenup. If I end up with somebody else at this point in my life.
That's what I was going to ask. So you would make them sign a prenup?
Yep. Unless you want them having half October and October, because we're going to still be in business together.
Oh, we are?
You think I'm walking away from this law firm? I ain't walking away from the law firm. We can be partners.
Tobert and Tobert. It says Tobert. If you leave me, it's not Tobert and Tobert no more.
I'm still gonna go by Tobert.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Now you got to be Ike Turner.
Yes, I am. All I want is my name.
I have been.
All I want is my name.
Attorney Shalise Tobert longer than I was Attorney Shalise Robinson. So we will know.
You can have all the hit records. You can have this podcast machine. You can have these mics.
Podcast machine.
All I want is my name.
I don't want your stuff. I don't want your stuff.
Then why you got my name? Why you won't give me my name?
It's my name now. It's been my name for 16 years. That's a third of my life.
This dope. See, no, you got to have another name.
That's over half of my adult life.
No, you got to have another name, dude.
Nope. Keep it Tobert.
That's petty as hell.
Why? See, why can't I keep Tobert? I've been Attorney Shalise Tobert for 16 years.
If this go down.
I have been practicing for 22 years, and 16 of them have been as Tobert. Why you gonna rob me of my reputation?
You know what, dude? We have to be another podcast. We'll talk about that later. But
why you don't want me to have your name?
Because, dude, why you need my name and you with somebody else?
I am Attorney Shalise Tobert. You're Attorney Michael Tobert.
That's no, dog.
So you gonna
be out to dinner with this dude, and they gonna be like, we seen Shalise Tobert out with whatever the dude name is.
Like, how that look? Hypothetical, because I gotta be the one that's married to somebody else. So go ahead.
So you would make him sign a prenup?
More than likely, because seriously, going to the points you made earlier, you're saying, when people get together later in life, I'm not divorcing you, so this is truly a hypothetical.
All right.
But you talk about people getting together later in life, they accumulate more, and it's a discussion to be had.
Okay. Well, I can't even think about that hypothetical because I would never get married.
Yeah, whatever. You so full of crap, counselor. So answer your own hypothetical.
It's hard for me to even think about being with anybody.
Go and answer your own hypothetical and quit being all flowery.
It's just
don't
I can't even.
You know what?
I can't even.
You get somebody on the witness stand, you wouldn't even accept that answer. So
all right, I will answer the question.
I
will answer the hypothetical.
That's all good.
If I happen to just be beat down and just
you got to be beat down.
After 20 years of not being with a woman.
So you going to make the woman wait till you in your 60s before you can...
That's how long it's going to take for me to get over you. Okay?
Whatever, Michael.
So we get a divorce, and then after 20 years of me being by myself with 3 cats and a dog, then if I get with somebody else, yeah, I think I'm going to make her sign something.
So they can get your Social Security?
I'll make her sign a little piece of paper. You
can't have half of my Social Security check.
I'm gonna make her sign a little something because she's not gonna be able to take, my money.
Your cat.
Yeah.
She can't have 2 of your cats and the dog.
No, I mean that's
because
No, she gonna sign something.
Oh, man.
And then by that time, Tobin and Tolbert, Tobin and Tolbert is already a good, profitable firm. By that time, it'll really be rolling. So, like, she just going to come in and just...
After 20 years of us not being together, it'll really be rolling in.
Yeah, so she just going to come in and just start, like, ordering you around, talking about, why did you take that case? Why did you take that case? Candace. She going to be like, Candace, you ain't working hard enough. The new woman.
The new woman gonna be pushing you around in the wheelchair because you're waiting 25 years before you get to her.
She sure is. And I'm gonna be like, you know what? I ain't got nothing to do with this because Shalice shouldn't have left me 20 years ago. So this is all y'all fault.
So wait,
Shalice
you getting
and Candace,
with the new,
y'all handle it.
the new woman is my fault.
Yeah, that's gonna be you and Candace's problem. You and Candace gonna have to deal with it.
She your woman.
No, man. I only, you know what? Every woman I've had is a classy, so that wouldn't even be a problem. It'll be a classy. She would be a classy woman. Wouldn't be as classy as you, but she would be classy.
I did not. I tell y'all, I learn something new with every podcast. I promise you, I learn something new every time. So, all in all, it sounds like we both are saying that prenups are kind of circumstantial at a certain point in life.
I would agree with that. So, I think you have to look at your life circumstances. Fellas and ladies, if you have a lot to lose and the person that helped you build it, I think you probably need a prenup. If you got a teenage love, don't hurt me again. Don't hurt me again.
We always go back to hip hop.
That's right.
That's us. That's our
I know about that. Slick Rick, baby. Slick the ruler. Slick. So, if you got a teenage love that you've been with forever, you guys are growing things together, I don't necessarily think you need a prenup. But that's my opinion. And just to throw a disclaimer out there, Tobin and Tolbert, this is not Tobin and Tolbert providing legal advice.
No, it is not.
You should go see a lawyer that practices in family law and divorce law and have them walk you through those steps. So this podcast is not intended to be legal advice. So that's our disclaimer.
Absolutely.
All right. Okay. That was
wow. I tell y'all, every time we do this, a man I've known for 35 years tells me something new. 2 cats and a dog, fellas. Oh, you done got rid of one of the cats now. You said 3 cats at first. Well, man, the way you acting, the cat didn't want to be around, so we had to get rid of the one. So, fellas, get that paperwork in order. Ladies, get that paperwork in order. Absolutely. Don't let them take you to the cleaners. You know what? But in all, if you are people, we are people of faith. We put God first in everything that we do. God gives us wisdom, and we make those decisions, those smart decisions based on the wisdom that God grants us. Absolutely. Absolutely. So what we're going to ask y'all to do is hit that subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. Follow us on all major podcast platforms. We're on Apple for all y'all Apple folks. We're on Google Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on iHeartRadio. And anywhere that you can find major podcasts. It would really help us spread the word of positivity amongst relationships, marriages, and partnerships. And just help us spread the word, y'all. That's all. That's all. We thank y'all for tuning in. As always, it's a good time, man. Absolutely. Married People's Business. See you next time.